As you can see, I'm on a ferry, Whidbey Island, upstate Washington, about to take a look at a submission tape for a family who claim they need my help. So why don't we take a look at this?
Hi, we're the Young family. I'm Jenny.
I'm Ricky.
And we have 3 boys.
We have Nicco, who's 6.
And Makai, we call him Kai Guy, who's 4.
And little Crew, who's 21 months. I know, I gotta go. I work for a security firm. Bye-bye. Because the economy is kind of tough right now, we've been having to move around a lot, and that means relocating my family quite often. We're really only in like one city for about 3 months at a time.
And we don't really know where we're gonna go next.
Wow, look at that. I mean, they barely got settled here, and then they're on the move again. Might as well not unpack.
I think I want to get a box and start putting some toys in there.
No.
We dread the idea of having to bring out the boxes. As soon as we start bringing out the boxes, that's when like mayhem will really start to set in.
Mom, I don't want to eat this.
All day long, boys are wrestling, hitting, kicking, running, everything.
Hey.
Nicco!
I think Jenny just sometimes just like, go for it. Go outside, go in the forest, take your machetes.
Machetes? Why would these kids be playing with a machete? Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Hey, I got a new project. Let's get all the toys in the yard and clean them up.
Let's just keep doing this.
I think Jenny feels really guilty because we've been moving so much
Ow.
that like she kind of lets the boys get away with a little bit.
Careful with baby, careful with baby.
Shut your mouth.
Excuse me?
These kids are not listening though. You know, they do need some boundaries.
Bedtime is really hard.
Good night, Bubba. I think bedtime is a nightmare. I hate bedtime. You see the dark circles in my eyes? Those are courtesy of Crew because the kid is 21 months and he's still sleeping in our bed.
You know, every time we move, Kruby is in a new room or a new crib, and so his consistency has been sleeping with us.
I get no sleep. That's my biggest thing with Crew is I get no sleep with him.
Oh, this is ridiculous. How is this family meant to function on no sleep?
We've moved 4 times in the last year, and another move is coming.
Supernanny, we really need your help.
Right, looks like we're here. Better go and help. Hello. How are you?
Jenny, come in. This is my husband, Ricky.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
This is our baby Crew.
Hi, Crew.
Ruby.
Hello.
And this
I
is
love him.
Nicco.
Hello, Nicco. How you doing? Pleased to meet you, Jojo. And who's this?
Kai Guy.
Pleased to meet you. I know, obviously, from watching your submission, you've kind of been moving houses back and forth, but you started off here.
This is our home,
Right.
but then when Ricky has jobs, we go like for 3 to 6 months, depending on how long it is, to somewhere else.
Right, okay.
So we were in Orlando for a little bit, and then it was New Mexico.
So you've been moving, and then I see that there's a lock on the door, which is normally when somebody's coming to view the house.
Yeah, we just got an offer on this house.
Oh, okay.
And so they want to close in 2 weeks.
So you're going to be moving again in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so you're the moving, traveling family?
Yeah, we are.
It is so hard every time we have to move away because I'm constantly asking my kids to make this transition. I do feel that guilt.
I think it's mostly been hard on Nicco. Nicco's got his 4th kindergarten.
So he's meeting friends and trying to settle in, and then
Schedules
before that's
and-
done, he's gone again. Very quickly, I realised that emotionally, she's very torn. She knows that it's ideal to have her family settled in one place, but she supports her husband for her family's sake in making sure that they can move around and support Ricky's work. So what's going on up there? What's happening up here?
This is the playroom. They're hanging out up here.
So I go up to the playroom, which is wonderful, big, large playroom, and Nicco is not present, but he's outside. Is that a machete he's playing with?
Yeah.
Huh? What's he doing with one of them?
And I was like, oh, great. Here we go. So I knew I was in for a barbecue right there.
Oh, think you're bloody crazy. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I think you're crazy that you're standing there like that, knowing he's playing with something that could take his fingers off. Seriously?
Well, it's pretty dull. I dulled it down. I mean, he still could get hurt, yeah, but it's...
Then why are you not taking it off him?
It's his favorite toy. He likes playing with it.
I know, but it's not a toy, is it? It's a tool.
It is a tool.
Whether the machete is blunt or not, it's dangerous. You don't play with a tool. Full stop. That to me is really dangerous. Can I ask you to take that off him, please?
Yeah.
Observing on my first day, I don't normally intervene with situations, but watching these boys running around with a machete is absolutely insane, and it does need to stop.
Hey, Nicco, Kai, you guys gotta come back up here a sec. We're gonna put the machetes up high.
I don't want these to go up high.
Nicco didn't like the fact that his dad wanted him to not play with the machetes anymore.
Stay away.
No, that's not funny.
It took some convincing for Nicco to give him up. But then instead of standing by his decision, Dad felt that he had to negotiate with Nicco.
How about when we need to do the firewood, you can get it out and you can chop the firewood?
Why?
Because that's an appropriate thing to use it for. We have other toys that we can play with. He had a breakdown and ran off into his little forest safe place. That's kind of how he handles punishments. If he has his feelings hurt because he's so sensitive, he does kind of just leave.
Hey, I just want to talk. Come here.
Mum actually went over and went and joined Nicco and started to pacify him by hugging him and stroking his hair. And I kind of saw there and then that actually when Dad makes a decision, Mum sabotages it.
It's just for a little while.
Jen, just give him his space.
He's fine.
I think she stays over there to make herself feel comforted that she's doing something.
Let's go.
She feels really bad that she's making him cry.
He's been able to play with this for so long, and then for it to be just, taken away. A lot of changes with that kid, a lot of changes.
Is that hard for you, having to give him all these changes and rules? Because constantly,
yeah. It just
another
hurts
thing, Mummy's now got to tell him another thing.
Yes, oh my gosh, yes. And I feel like, it's the last thing I want for my kids to be suffering, for choices that, Ricky and I are trying to make, to better our family. And so I feel guilty for the constant change and no consistency.
I held my tongue as I listened to Mum pour with all these excuses, feeling guilty about moving house time and time again and allowing certain behaviour to happen because of it. That's ridiculous to me.
Hey, I'm gonna go to work, so.
Dad had to go off to work, so in the afternoon he went, and that gave me a wonderful opportunity to actually watch Mum with the boys and see how they interact.
Have a great day.
Watching Ricky drive away and knowing that I was gonna be alone with Joe, I was like, thanks a lot.
I knew that these parents had a problem getting their youngest one, Crew, off to sleep in his own room. Mum and Dad relocate every few months, which makes it incredibly challenging for Crew to feel settled when it comes to bedtime.
This is supposed to be Crew's room.
When I walked into his room, I realised there's no way he could sleep in here because it was empty. There was nothing in his room that would make you feel like it was his room. There was no toys in there, and there was no bedding in his crib.
In Albuquerque, he was sleeping in our closet in a porta-crib. And then in Orlando, it was in a closet.
Depending on where we're living, his sleeping arrangement would have to change. So instead of changing it every time, I've just found it to be consistent for him just to sleep with us.
Sometimes Ricky will want to just he should go sleep in his crib. But then he'll always end up back in bed with us.
Mum and Dad are using moving around a lot as an excuse for not dealing with behaviour that needs to be addressed. Crazy. Crazy, really. Dad's tired, Mum's tired. He needs to be able to learn to sleep in his own bed.
Okay, hey, listen, if you guys can play quietly while I put Kruby to sleep.
With the older ones playing upstairs, Mum took Crew downstairs so that he could take a nap in her bedroom.
I love Kruby, Kruby loves Mama.
The pair of them were underneath a blankie. Crew was facing his mum whilst she was singing this lullaby.
I am in that little place with my sweet little baby and having that mommy baby time.
This ritual, I think, seems to be more for the benefit of Mum than for Crew. And I think it's because she feels guilty that they move around so much. Then Nicco and Kai started to run wild in the living room next door to where Crew was meant to be sleeping. If Mum tells his kids to go up to the playroom and play in there while she gets the little one to sleep, they should understand that this is the time of day where they have to keep the volume down, the little one has to sleep. There's no consideration for the rest of the family members. And so, you know, that's something that Mum's going to have to teach these boys.
Hey, Nicco, come here. Well, I was trying to put Creepy to sleep and you guys were running all around, yelling, making noise. It wasn't very helpful for me.
Oh, okay.
I knew that Mum wasn't going to calm down this unruly behaviour from the older boys with this gentle, soothing voice. And they carried on.
Hey, boys, no.
My kids were misbehaving, but I felt powerless not to be able to say, hey, knock it off, and be heard.
As soon as Dad came home, I just knew that I'd seen enough from this family and was looking forward to the family meeting. So tomorrow, I'd love to sit down with the pair of you and, you know, let's just iron out some of these issues.
It's gonna be probably tough. She's probably gonna lay into us a little bit.
Good night.
I'm expecting to get hammered. I'm nervous for what she has to say because I know that this is the time where she's gonna just pick me apart as a mom.
So let's start with boundaries. Not being able to say no to the kids leads them in a place and feeling like everything is yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't help with their emotional maturity. One of those examples was when you told Nicco that he wasn't allowed to play with the machete and he didn't like it. He was told no. And so he had a little bit of, you know, a mood and cried a little bit.
I just feel like I've put them through so much the last year that why not make one little thing a little bit easier for them to deal with.
When you allow behaviour that you know is not safe, that only leads to worse behaviour. Allowing Nicco to play with the machete set precedent over the importance of setting boundaries and having rules and following through with discipline. So you're going to start to recognise what's important and the bigger picture of everything and what isn't.
Yeah.
Balance.
Let's talk about your travelling. You're making big moves. Every 3-4 months, you're going from one state to the next. So creating stability for your family is incredibly important. Everything you're teaching your children will need to be established and put in place in whatever house you end up in that you call a home.
That makes sense.
So let's talk about Crew's bedtime. Are we both in agreement that we don't want the little one in the bed anymore?
Gosh, yeah, look at these bags. Yes, please.
However, nothing's being done to stop that from happening. Why?
Usually somebody can't handle him crying so much, and so,
You just point to me.
yeah, a little bit. And so then it's like, you know, he ends up back in our bed.
What is it that you think's going on when he cries?
He's scared. He doesn't know where he is. Things are crazy. We move into a new apartment. Boxes are everywhere. I just don't want him to feel anxiety or,
He's 21 months though. I think she looks into it too much. Like, I think she's
I don't think so.
overanalyzing
I don't think so. I know he knows when, you know, feels the stress of me even. Like when I'm stressed out, you know.
Yeah, exactly. He probably feels your stress.
I think Crew sleeping in a bed with you two brings not just comfort to Crew, but also brings comfort for you. I think he emotionally fills this hole that makes you feel so scared and nervous in the place that you're at right now.
I've never thought about it, but yeah.
So what we're going to do is teach Crew how to very happily go to bed. He's waiting for you guys to teach him.
That would be great.
The next thing is us not talking anymore and putting it into action and doing what's necessary.
Yeah.
So we're all on board. After establishing that these kids don't have rules, I brought in the plates. On them we'll write the rules and then pin them up.
Cute.
We've never put the rules out in any sort of, you know, written thing that everybody could agree upon. I'm really excited to set those into place.
They have the tendency of hitting each other a lot, or hitting Jenny, so I would like that to be a rule.
No name calling.
Yeah, name calling.
Do you think it's effective, like we have no, no, no?
The reason why I've had you write no is because your kids have never heard no.
That's true.
It's for us to practice saying it.
As for the machetes, I've already made sure that Mum and Dad have put them away forever.
So 15 minutes,
All right, 15 minutes.
mealtime.
I'm on board.
Mum and Dad finished writing the rules, hung the plates up, and then they brought the boys in for an explanation.
These are all rules that we're all gonna promise that we're gonna follow. Mommy, Daddy, Nicco, Kai, and crew. See the yellow one? It says, do as you're told.
Hit that one.
Look at the red one. This one's really easy because I know you guys are great at this one.
No hit.
No hitting.
No biting, no punching in the privates, no hitting in the face.
If we don't follow these rules, what's gonna happen? We're gonna have discipline. We're gonna have consequences.
Well, I think they were a little bit excited. Maybe Nicco was a little hesitant because as a kid, I guess that's your job to rebel against the rules, but hopefully it'll be a good experience for all of us.
1, 2, 3, yum! Good job.
With the rules now done, Mum and Dad would need to learn how to enforce them. And so I brought in the timeout mat and gave them the steps. And you're going to say to them in a very firm voice, you've broke one of the rules. It says no hitting. I really wanted to focus on stern warnings with Mum and Dad and the correct tone of voice. And it wasn't long before we started to practice.
I have to ask you that again. You're gonna go on timeout. Do you understand? Don't take his dog, okay?
All right, give me a warning. Give me a proper warning, Mum. Let me see that you've got perfect opportunity, authoritative voice, and firm in what you want. All right, let's try it.
Here's your warning. I don't want you to take Bella anymore. Do you understand? Thank you.
Nice. Mum did show that she can give a proper warning because she used a low-toned voice. Let's hope she keeps up with it later. One of the big issues in this family is that Crew sleeps in his mum and dad's bed, and it leaves these parents sleep deprived. We're going to take the first step forward in making his room very familiar. I need Mum and Dad to stop using moving around as an excuse so that they can put the basics into Crew's bedroom that would allow him to feel cosy in his own room. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and take up some things that he likes to play with and put them into that room. And just spend 15 minutes in that room with him, playing with some of the toys. So up we went to Crew's bedroom and invited his toys to be in that room. So he'd become a little bit accustomed to that space before he was going to sleep in it. Catch it!
Crew totally reacted to Joe's idea of putting all this stuff in there. He looked around, saw his own toys, and saw the familiar things and started playing with them. Had no quarrels about jumping in his own bed and, hopping in there. And even though he was hopping around and playing in the place where he should be sleeping, it was still like he was comfortable with it.
Crew, you're jumping on your bed. It's where you go to sleep now. You're going to be going to sleep in your bed. Even when the Youngs move to a new home, putting familiar toys into Crew's bedroom is going to help him sleep in there and out of their bed. But the real question is, how will Mum do? I intend to find out. Tonight we're going to do the sleep technique with little Crew. Before Crew's bedtime, Mum was becoming rather nervous. I knew that emotionally this was going to be incredibly difficult for her. For Mum, this represents not just about Crew sleeping in his bed. This represents emotionally something much bigger, because Jenny feels quite guilty. So I knew that not only would I be settling Crew, but I'd also be settling Jenny as well. I explained to Mum that she would be the first to do the sleep separation technique. This is what we're going to do. We need to teach him that when he comes out of his bed, he has to go straight back into it, okay? You're going to sit like so. The crib is here. You're going to be at the corner of the crib facing towards the door.
The sleep separation technique is we put Kruby in his crib, and then you have to sit on the ground and listen to him cry in his room so that he sees you and you are actively ignoring him.
As soon as he comes out, he's straight back in. No shh, no nothing, just straight back in, okay?
When she asked me to go sit on the ground and have him see me ignoring him, I thought, he's gonna have his heart broken. I'm gonna crush him. I was like, this is not gonna work, okay? I don't care how much experience you've had. This is my kid, and it's not working for me. Everything inside me just hurts when I hear him cry. It was pretty awful because it was so hard. And I just wanted to turn around and scoop him up.
She's never had to experience something like this. She's never had to have this emotional disconnect with one of her children like this. And so I was a little worried that she was gonna crack.
He knows how far he's got to go to get you guys to cave in, and he will go there. He will go there tonight.
I was teaching Mum the sleep separation technique where she's adjacent to the crib and Crew will know that somebody is there and it's secure for him to sleep in his own bed. But Crew's not having none of it.
He's in the crib saying, Mommy, I cry, Mommy. I'm dying. And I was bawling and I'm like trembling because my body just wants to go to him. But after a while, Joe was sitting right outside the door and she kept going, You're doing it, you're doing great. I thought, okay, you know what? Joe promised me that the first night was gonna be the hardest. And if I could get through the first night, then it would be easier from there.
It's always hard as a parent to hear your kid cry. And for me, sitting down in the hall and knowing that my wife's in there, knowing how much she loves her kids, that was honestly the hardest part for me.
And she had done it. She held out. We did see Crew go off to sleep and Mum came out with victory smile on her face.
Good job, babe. Thanks.
She did a great job. She followed the steps that Joe told her to do, so I was really, really proud of her.
Had a girl. Thanks. Serious.
Even though after Kirby had fallen asleep, I was still an emotional wreck. I was shaking.
That was hard.
Proud of you.
Going through it was murder.
Yeah.
But you actually have just broke a massive cycle that was creating a bad habit.
But I very much doubted that Mum was done for the whole night.
What'll happen is that he'll wake up in the middle of the night and he'll either wake up and cry or he'll wake up and he'll get out of his crib. And what you need to do is to go back in, resume the same position, have him cry, and if he gets out, go back to sleep again.
Jenny won the battle, but the war's just begun. In an hour or two, he's gonna get right back out and Jane's gonna have to go through the whole same process again.
In the middle of the night when I had to get up with him, that was awful. It's like I'm already tired and here's my baby crying and I remember sitting on the floor just feeling like crushed almost. And Joe went and sat by the door. I don't know if she saw that I was, just really having a hard time, but she came in and whispered in my ear and told me, hold strong.
And sure enough, he went back to sleep. I think they've proven to themselves that they are capable of doing it. They've just got to be consistent to get those results. Mum and Dad certainly had a rough night, but they stuck with the technique and things will get better for them. Moving on to another issue, because of Dad's work, the family have to move around all the time. And I really want this to be positive and not negative. So I want to get the boys involved in the moving process. So this house will be for the kids.
it will count down the days that you have towards moving to your new home.
In this last year alone, we've lived in 5 places. I try to look at it as an adventure, but sometimes it's hard.
You'll see that there are 14 windows here.
It's hard moving all the time.
Every day, the kids will take turns in opening up a different window. When you get down to the last 7, it will have instructions of the things that you and the kids will do before you actually pack up, drive, and go to your new home. For example, 3rd day before, draw pictures to send to your friends.
This gave us something so we could focus on fun things that you get to do, bringing friends into the pictures, being more creative, writing letters. What a good idea.
I had a little surprise for these boys to create some consistency for when they move to their new home.
There are 3 bags, Makai, Crew, and this one says
Nicco.
Nicco. Now, the importance is to provide these kids with the same things in every place they go, so that the room that they end up in is the room that becomes familiar. I have their name. We have
Oh, who's that?
a picture of the family.
She had pictures of their grandparents and a blanket for each of the boys.
In a moment.
Have this now.
Not yet.
And she had a little bag where they could collect their little cars or, treasures.
So as soon as you get to a new home, you go, right, let's get your room, let's colour our name, let's put it up, let's put the blanket. It's laying down a ritual straight away wherever they are. So, Kai, yes, you may have yours and you can take a look in your bag.
And the boys ate it up. Like, that was their favorite thing like they had ever gone. It was like Christmas for them.
Immediately, they started plane moving, where they rolled out their blankets and they set up their frames and put their little things out.
Now it's time to go to bed.
Now I definitely feel that we have the tools and the techniques to make this move an easy transition for my family.
Morning time. Let's pack up.
I'm gone for several days. You're doing Ricky bedtime tomorrow. Tonight you're doing it, Mum, with Crew. Remember the rules.
I'm really nervous. I'm gonna have to really, amp it up.
Let me give you a hug.
There's been a lot to put in place, and effectively they have tools that they can now apply.
See you soon, okay? I'm gone for several days. Bye, Kai, see you soon.
However, they've got to do it without the safety net. After being away for several days, I want to make sure that the whole family are feeling more comfortable now with the process of moving.
I'm nervous.
I was a little nervous sitting there, honestly. I knew there was stuff that I failed at, so I knew that she was obviously going to point those out.
Hiya.
Hi.
Okay, ready to take a look at this? Let's take a look at our first clip. Countdown to moving.
I got that text saying that it's a little rough for sure.
Nice. If we move on the 15th
Yeah.
announcement, then today is number 9. Get favorite games ready.
All right.
So that's what we'll do tomorrow.
Good job. Way to use your muscles, guys.
That's lovely. You're using the house and recognising that as much as there's a list of things that you need to get done, there are things that the kids can do, which helps them on this emotional journey of moving. All those fears of you emotionally feeling like, what are the kids thinking? I feel so guilty. This allows them to be a part of that. That was a wonderful piece of footage there, the pair of you. So let's move on to Crew's bedtime.
Guess what? Kruby slept in his own crib all night long last night.
Good luck, Ricky.
Thanks, baby.
Be strong.
Okay, Jenny, you were very consistent with the sleep separation technique, and that's why you got the results, because you have remained in the same place and he has the security of knowing that's where you are. Ricky, you haven't remained consistent. What you've done is become impatient with it, and it's left him not knowing. You first put him in to his bed and went shh and came out. Then you decided that you would stay in the room, like what Jenny was doing, but instead of staying there and showing him that you were going to be in the same place, you started to move further and further away from the bed, so you're not allowing him to feel secure, and so that's why you're getting him getting up, getting up, getting up. How many times does he get up now?
Last night he got out a lot.
Why do you think he did that?
So it was after he did it.
Yeah. All right, so it's one rule, one technique, both doing it. Okay, so let's move on to warnings.
Hi, guys. Stinky.
Is that name calling?
Hey, are you guys name calling?
What's the rule? No name calling. So that's your warning. If it happens again, you're in time out.
All right. You've got to get out of your head that using an authoritative tone of voice is being mean. It's allowing your children to have that distinction between your conversational voice and your voice that means I'm being serious, guys. That's enough. Stop it. Pack it in. And if that continues, you'll go back to square one tomorrow with regards to the kids not listening.
This is your warning. I need you to do as you're told. I need you to clean up those 25 toys or you're gonna go on timeout. Do you understand? Okay, go clean them up.
I feel that when you're trying to talk to the kids, you don't always feel like they are listening.
Okay, I don't.
He's grabbing hold of his kids to get their attention because they're looking all over the place. And I do feel that Dad would feel a lot better about himself if he could learn to discipline in a very effective way.
So what I'm going to do is to teach you how to get your kids' attention when you are giving out the first step of discipline, a warning. So, I guess we get busy with the rest of the stuff, right?
Do it.
After watching the DVD, I could see Dad would need more coaching when it comes to giving effective warnings, so that he could learn how to teach these boys to listen to him without having to hold them.
Come down. And as you're telling Kai, what would you be doing? Where would your hands be?
Mine?
Yeah, where would your hands
Probably
be?
like this, so he doesn't escape.
Exactly, so do the same to me. And then tell me that I have to go to the table.
Okay, you need to go sit at the table. You need to go sit at the table. Not effective.
Right. All you need to do when you're speaking to him is when he starts to move, lower that tone of voice and ask him to do what you want him to do. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Turn around, turn your face around and look at me when I'm talking to you.
She definitely put in perspective, like, hey, the ability to learn control over your voice and the words that you're saying to your kid is important to be able to help them understand.
All right, if you're trying to tell me something and I'm looking around, what are you going to say?
Turn around, I'm talking to you right now.
Exactly. Make sense?
Yeah.
Dad was on track, but I do want to do a couple of things to help this family through their transition because they are going to be moving again in 2 weeks. Moving house can be incredibly stressful, but I wanted to show Mum and Dad with a little bit of creativity they could make packing a real fun game for the boys.
This is a fire drill that we're going to do. Nicco, I want you to be a part of this in a big way. So I've given you the fire chief hat. That's the man who's in charge of the other firefighters.
I'm the fire chief.
So you have the red one, okay? And Kai and crew have the yellow ones. You will have 4 minutes to collect your favorite things that you need to take to your next home and bring downstairs back into this box.
See how the stopwatch, blue loud whistle, the boys are running around crazy.
Fire chief, you forgot the firefighter. He's downstairs. Put it in the box.
It was definitely fun, and I think it's exciting for the boys to get to open up and have something to do, and just really takes the focus off of all the negative things.
10 seconds left.
I feel really empowered. Like, okay, we're going on this adventure. We're together as a family. Let's do this.
4,
3, 2, 1.
I like being frightened.
You're welcome.
Before I leave, I have one thing that I want to give to these boys to help them feel connected to their friends and family because they're moving to a new home in 2 weeks.
These cards here, they're very special. Look, there's a football one and a bear and there's hearts. They're all different pictures that you can colour in. But the wonderful thing is that at the back, they're stamps and they become postcards, okay? So you can colour them in and send them to Grandma and Grandpa.
It's something really hands-on that he'll be able to, be proud of and take ownership and be involved in. He'll use them up real fast. Joe coming in here was amazing. We have a plan, we're gonna execute it, and I feel really empowered.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye, Jojo.
Bye, Groovy.
With another move coming up, like literally right around the corner, I feel like we're pretty well empowered. Like we'll be able to implement all those things that Joe taught us.
All right,
take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
It has been a great time working with this family, and I'm really pleased to know now that they have consistency to help them with their frequent move-in. There's a bright future for the young family.